Welcome to BikeBeat, the 2025 Bajaj Avenger 220. There's an unmistakable sense of déjà vu. It looks familiar, like a bike you've seen rolling down Indian highways for decades, but it also feels fresh enough to stand its ground in the modern era. The cruiser form factor has always been an aspirational design, and the Avenger does a fantastic job of making that aspiration affordable. Its long wheelbase, stretched stance, chrome-laden design, and easygoing aura invite you to ride, not rush. That's the biggest impression this motorcycle leaves even before you turn the key. The design language is deliberately classic. Bajaj hasn't tried to make it futuristic or sporty because that would betray the cruiser DNA. The round headlamp with LED DRLs encircling it, the spoke-style alloy wheels, the teardrop-shaped fuel tank with embossed Avenger badging, and the sweeping handlebar all combine to project a sense of timelessness. Even the seat, wide, low, and sculpted to support your lower back, feels like a throne compared to the benches offered by commuter bikes. From the rider's eye view, the long tank stretches ahead like a runway, the speedometer sits in its own little pod on the tank itself, and the handlebar feels like it's urging you to lean back, stretch your arms, and just cruise. Bajaj offers the bike in two classy shades, auburn black and moon white. Both paint schemes are complemented with chrome detailing that glistens in the sun and reflects the cruiser ethos perfectly. Unlike some bikes in this segment that try to scream for attention with decals and aggressive graphics, the Avenger whispers with maturity. It's confident in its design language and doesn't feel the need to shout. Firing up the 220 cubic centimeters DTS-i engine brings another layer to the experience. It's not a loud or aggressive note, it's a bassy, smooth rumble that suits the bike's persona. Throttle response is progressive, and the engine note at idle is almost calming, but when you roll the throttle open, it builds into a steady hum that makes highway cruising an absolute joy. This isn't a high-revving engine, in fact, it feels happiest in the mid-range, right where most riders spend the majority of their time. Between 50 to 90 km per hour, the bike feels stable, relaxed, and refined. That's the sweet spot, and it's exactly what a cruiser is supposed to deliver. The gear shifts through the 5-speed transmission feel predictable, with a clutch that is neither too heavy nor too light, well balanced for city riding as well as highway stretches. Riders who've owned Avengers for years often praise how little fatigue it causes in day-to-day commutes despite its size and cruiser stance. The forward set pegs mean you're not hunched forward like on a sporty bike, and that upright posture reduces wrist and back strain dramatically. Out on the open road, the Avenger 220 shines. Thanks to its 163 kg curb weight, it doesn't feel intimidating when leaning into mild corners or maneuvering around slow traffic. On highways, it feels planted and confident, soaking in bumps through its telescopic forks at the front and twin rear shock absorbers. These shocks can be adjusted through 5 steps, so whether you're riding solo or with a pillion and luggage, you can fine-tune the ride for comfort. One of the strongest aspects of the Avenger has always been accessibility. With a seat height of 737 mm, it welcomes riders of all sizes. For shorter riders, flat-footing at signals is easy, and for taller riders, the stretched handlebar and forward pegs allow for a relaxed, open posture. It feels inclusive, which is one of the reasons the bike appeals to such a wide demographic. From college students who want a cruiser on a budget to middle-aged professionals who crave a relaxed daily ride, and even seasoned riders who want a comfortable second bike for laid-back trips. When it comes to fuel efficiency, the Avenger 220 surprises. For a 220 cubic centimeters cruiser, delivering close to 39 kmpl in real-world conditions is impressive. With its 13-liter tank, you're looking at a riding range of about 450 to 500 kilometers on a full tank under ideal conditions. That's long enough to do a weekend trip without worrying too much about frequent fuel stops. On road trips, that range adds to the sense of freedom a cruiser should give you. Now let's talk about braking and safety. The front 280mm disc provides solid stopping power, while the rear 130mm drum does a decent job of complementing it. The single-channel ABS is an important inclusion, preventing the front wheel from locking up during emergency braking. Of course, dual-channel ABS would have been even better, especially considering rivals in similar price brackets are offering it. That's one area where Bajaj could have modernized the Avenger further. But for its intended purpose, steady cruising and everyday practicality, the current setup works well enough. pricing is where the Avenger scores high as a value for money proposition. At around 1.47 Indian rupees lakh ex-showroom Delhi, and roughly 1.6 Indian rupees lakh on-road in metro cities, it is one of the most affordable genuine cruisers in India. For less than 2 lakh rupees, no other bike offers the same blend of cruiser styling, comfort, and proven reliability. That affordability has always been one of the strongest unique selling points of the Avenger lineup. Let's step into the ownership perspective. Talk to Avenger owners and you'll notice a recurring theme: comfort. Riders who've clocked tens of thousands of kilometers swear by the bike's ability to handle both daily commutes and long-distance rides without straining the rider. Many mention how it doesn't generate excessive engine heat in traffic, which is a big plus in Indian cities. Maintenance is also relatively inexpensive, with Bajaj's widespread service network ensuring easy availability of parts and technicians who know the bike inside out. Comparisons often bring up rivals like the Royal Enfield Meteor 350, which is a more powerful and modern cruiser but at a significantly higher price. The Meteor offers a 350 cubic centimeters engine, more features, and dual-channel ABS, but it's heavier and more expensive, starting closer to 2.2 Indian rupees lakh. The Honda SCB 350 is another competitor, again larger, more premium, but much more expensive. Against these, the Avenger 220 stands as the budget-friendly entry into cruiser culture. It may not match their refinement or feature lists, but it delivers 70 to 80% of the cruiser experience at a much lower cost, which for many riders is the smarter choice. The Avenger's relevance in 2025 comes down to a simple equation. It hasn't changed much because it didn't need to. The bike continues to deliver the essence of cruising at a price point no other manufacturer dares to target. It's not about cutting-edge tech or aggressive innovation, it's about consistency, dependability, and a sense of relaxed freedom on two wheels. In a market that increasingly pushes sporty designs and feature-packed machines, the Avenger is unapologetically old-school. That, in itself, makes it unique. Every ride on the Avenger 220 feels like a reminder that biking isn't always about speed, aggression, or showing off. Sometimes it's about slowing down, taking in the scenery, and letting the journey matter more than the destination. The low rumble of the engine, the relaxed posture, the wind gently rushing past your helmet, it all comes together to create an experience that feels therapeutic. And that's why even in 2025, with new models and competitors flooding the market, the Bajaj Avenger 220 still holds its ground. It's a motorcycle that doesn't need to chase trends. Instead, it continues to do what it was designed to do almost 2 decades ago: let riders cruise with ease, style, and comfort without breaking the bank. For someone stepping into cruiser culture for the first time, or for a rider who just wants a no-nonsense machine that delivers genuine comfort and classic style, the Avenger remains one of the most compelling choices on the Indian market. If you want speed, raw power, or bleeding-edge features, there are better options out there. But if you want to stretch your arms wide, sink into a low seat, feel the road slip away under a steady hum, and experience the pure joy of cruising, the Avenger 220 still delivers exactly that in 2025. It's not just a motorcycle, it's a lifestyle distilled into a package that's practical, reliable, and attainable.